Before I start, I'll just remind you all that this is recorded and you will be getting it sent to you via your email, whatever email you have on file with your Herdwatch account or whatever one you registered to this webinar with. So let's get started. So tonight we're going to be discussing all things lambing, so lambing time and keeping your records straight. So to start off, my name is Katie. And tonight I'm joined by Laura Conlon. So Laura is another sheep farmer. So she is our sheep expert here in Herdwatch. And Laura's going to do the demo. I'm just going to do a little brief introduction and then Laura will take over and do the demo for you. Before we start any further, if you have any questions, any specific questions about your Herdwatch app or anything you want to know, does the Herdwatch app do this in relation to your own flock or jobs that you want to do, just the Q&A button that's on the bottom of the screen there, hit that and send in your questions anonymously and we will get to them all. Emma's in the background. As usual, we have some customer support in the background there. So Emma is there and she will get to all your questions as they come in. So please do ask. Anything that she can't get to tonight, we'll make sure that someone gives you a call or a message over the next day or two and get your query solved. Breeding records, creating lambing records, medicine records. A Q&A will be throughout the entire demo and wrapping up. Sorry. Can you hear me, Laura?
Yeah, you're breaking up slightly, but we have you.
Yeah, I don't know. My laptop just decided to freeze there. You can see the presentation, all right?
Yeah, it's gone now. Do you want me to share now?
Hold on now, I might reshare there again. Just a little glitch. All right, can you see it again?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing like doing these things live. So since Herdwatch launched in 2014, we've been helping over 20,000 members with their herd performance and farm compliance. So we have over 4 million cattle in the app, over 1.7 million sheep in the app, and over 800,000 acres mapped in the Herdwatch app. So as you know, we have 4 solutions all within the one app. So you have access to either whatever package you've chosen. So we have our dairy, cattle, sheep, and pasture. So Herdwatch offers 4 solutions in one platform for farmers looking to optimize their herd, flock, and pasture management. Cattle by Herdwatch, Dairy by Herdwatch, Sheep by Herdwatch help farmers achieve herd goals through data-backed management decisions. Pasture by Herdwatch assists farmers with grazing and pasture management. So what is new? So new features over the last 12 months. Some you might be using anyways. Some you might not know that they even exist. So this is a great way to get to know what we have launched over the last year in Herdwatch. So we have our crush side new feature. So you can do multiple things at the one time, literally crush side. Herdy obviously is the new AI feature we have within the app. You can ask it any questions and it'll be specific to your own Herdwatch account. We have the web app version, which you can just get by going onto the Herdwatch website and logging in there and just using it like a PC version. We have the mart and factory links, the turbo mode, the nitrates calculator, scanning, tagging, lambing insights, BCS, flock register and reports, and the grazing management and PBI integration. So Laura will be covering a few of these within the demo as well later on. So I'm now going to hand over to our product manager, Laura. Again, if you have any questions, please do ask in the Q&A box and Emma will be in the background there to make sure that your questions are answered. So I'll pass over to you there now, Laura, if that's okay.
Okay. Now, can everybody see that screen? There.
It's just slow. Yeah, it's up there now, Laura. Thanks.
Perfect, thanks. Well, today I'll give a demo of the sheep application. I will switch between 2 flocks, my own and a demo one, just the demo one for recording information, and I'll show the reporting and that insights features then on our own flock, just so that you can see one with real data in it. So I'll start off initially just showing how to add a sheep before we get to lambing them or mating tasks or anything like that. So if I click here at the button, there's a quick action button, add sheep, or I can go to my orange plus button and then add sheep as well. So you can add an individual sheep, which is just a singular sheep if you bought one in. If you have a batch of sheep that you bought in and you want to add them quickly with an EID reader, you can do that as well, or you can upload sheep from an EID tag reader. For tonight, I'll just add one individual sheep. So I'm going to select the animal type. It was from another flock. I brought in a breeding ewe, and I'm going to say the tag number is 3720452931000. Management tag up and down at 1000. It came in on the I'll say last week, and it is a 2-year-old Joe, and I'm going to put it down as a Suffolk. So that's that sheep added. I just click save, and I say I'm finished, and that sheep is now there in the flock, ready to add any tasks to. So if I then go back to my home screen, you can see this section here, my flock. This screen here is just a blown up version of what's on your mobile. My flock will show you all the animals that are in your flock. You can click on then your groups and mobs. Animal groups are just a way of batching animals together for record keeping. You can have an animal in multiple groups at any one time. You can have a group called breeding ewes 25, breeding ewes 24, breeding ewes 26, and there can be animals in all three of them at the same time. You then have general groups, which are groups but don't have any specific animals, and I'll go into them in a few minutes later on. And then we can have a mob, which is kind of like the initial groups, but an animal can only be in one mob at any one time. So I'll go back again here to my home screen, and I'm just going to start off here with how to create the starting of your breeding season, your mating records. So before I do a mating record, I will show how to create a group, only these general groups I spoke about, because that can be used as part of your mating management to batch the animals together before you put the ram to them. So what I am going to do here is the orange plus button, create group, create a group with animals. And I'm going to call this breeding commercial ewes 2025, and I'm going to sort animals by tag number. I'm going to go next. So what you can do here is I can select all, I can filter. So I can filter here by female animals only. That automatically gets rid of everything that is male or unknown, and I'm going to put in the purpose is my breeding ewe. So I am now have a smaller list of animals that are purely breeding ewes and female. So what I'm going to do is tick on everything that is commercial, which I have designated here with the ZZ breed. I'm just going to quickly go down through these and tick on them. It'll take 1 minute. And there's 2 more here. And you can see here at the bottom, we have 21 animals selected. So I can save that record now, and I have my breeding commercial ewe group set up for my mating record. And I'll return again to my home screen. And I will go to my mating records for recording the ram going out with the lamb ewes. ING, add mating record. So I'm going to backdate mating record to October time. And you can backdate your records as far as you want in Herdwatch once your animals are there and they're there before the date of the record. So that will give me, if I put my ram out on the 1st of October, it'll give me an estimated lambing date on the 25th of February 26. The ram used, I am going to say, is this ram here. Rattle color is yellow for initially. I go next. This is all the ewes I have on my farm, but we had that group created already. So I'm just going to click this back button here, go to groups and mobs. And here's my breeding commercial ewes 2025 that I created a minute ago. So if I click on that group, select all, and this creates a mating record of them 27 ewes with this particular ram, and the designated by the color yellow rattle. So then, say for the next week, I want to create a second mating record for the same group, but I want to change the rattle color. So I am now going to go to October the 8th, and I'm going to use exactly the same ram. Rattle color used this time is going to be red. And I'm going to say, do exactly the same thing again. Groups and mobs, commercial breeding ewes, select all, and save. So that is me recording when I change my rattle on that breeding group. And you can do that as many times as you want. So you can, and as many groups or batches of sheep as you want for your breeding records. So when once you have that done, I'm just going to change to another flock here. If you go into your breeding records, you can see all your mating records recorded. You can see here, this was 1 round to 11, breed 57 on this one. So he got another few added on to him, which you can click into any one of these, see the date and see the ewes that went with that ram. And that they'll also populate in your due to lamb list based on the day the ram went to the ewe, and etc. So both of them will link and be updated as you enter your mating records. So we've our mating records done. The next thing we want to do then is record our pregnancy scanning results. We can do that in a number of ways. We have what is our traditional pregnancy scanning results, which is here, which you can do. But we have in the last month or two created a much more user-friendly way to do this, which I'll show you now, called Race Site. And this is the feature that Katie mentioned in the introduction, where you can record multiple things at once. So if I go into this Race Site session and I want to create a new session, I'm just going to do a basic session here. And I'm going to go pregnancy scan 1. The one that says performed by Andrea. I'm going to add my session tasks. So I want to do a pregnancy scanning results recording. And that's all I want to do. That's fine. If I want to just maybe record a missing tag, if I see it as they're going through the race, I can tick on that as well, or a general job note as I go through. So I'll apply that and go to next, skip. And so I'm ready to record my pregnancy scanning. I select my first animal and again have here. So I would say this one, ewe here. She is expected to have 2 lambs. And that's it. If I want to record that her tag is missing, I can just literally click on it, say she's missing her single EID tag, and I know I need to record to get that at a stage. I click on next. I pick the next ewe. She is expecting 1, and next. And you can go through all your ewes as quickly as possible, quickly as they come through the chute doing this. If you have your EID wand connected to your app as you're doing this, you just scan the ewe, hit the number. If you just will go to your next, say if you had your EID wand connected, you would scan your ewe. She would automatically come up. You would click 2 and scan the next ewe, and you click whatever number lamb. So it could be very, very quick, a smooth way of entering your pregnancy scanning quite quickly. So I'm going to save that. That will be your pregnancy scanning records entered as the sheep go through the race. All of these tasks can be done with rather than selecting the ewe or ram, you can just scan the EID tag with your EID wand if you have one, or you can manually select. It works either way. And then if I go back here to the other herd, you can see my scan results and expected. Every single animal will be here with expected progeny for this year. And if anybody is empty, they will show up here as well. Right, and I go home then again. So the next step of your lambing cycle is your lambing records. You have a number of options in terms of lambing in the app. You can record as much detail as you want or as little detail as you want. So I will just show both options here now. So I have a lambing record. I am going to pick this female here. If you have your mating test recorded against this animal, the sire will show up. We're going to say that the lambing date is next today. She had 2 lambs. And then we're asked the question, do you want to add lamb details? If I select no, I just want to say she had 2 lambs and record nothing else at this time. I can put in the sire details if I haven't a mating task recorded, or it'll populate. I can record lamb in difficulty. So that sometimes if you're recording information like lamb in difficulty, mother inability, it can help you make culling decisions later on. Milkiness was poor. And you can, at this stage, add a ewe to a cull ewe list so that she automatically moves to your cull ewe list and you don't lose track of her in the future. This ewe, I will mark this ewe as that, and I'll go save. And I want to create another record, yes. So I will go to the next ewe down here, and I'm going to say all her lambs were aborted. And literally, that's all I have to do is click all aborted and hit save. And I'm going to do one more where I record as much information as possible. So another ewe here. I got this one. So she's going to record on the same day. I'm going to say she's had 3 lambs. And this time I do want to add the lamb details. So again, I'll pick a sire, or the sire would have been here if I had included this ewe in the mating task. The lamb in difficulty was unassisted. Mother inability was very good. Milkiness again was good. So that I have everything in on the ewes part of it. I go to next. And this is where I enter the details for each of the lambs. So the first lamb we can say was a male, born alive, tag number. You can scan and enter if you tag your lambs at birth, you can scan the tag as your tag and entering this record and tag your lamb straight away. Or you can enter a management tag number and say 1-, say we're 1-1, or this lambing number here. If we're saying this is the 16th ewe to lamb and this is the first of them, so you could write 16 on the ewe and 16 on the lambs just to keep track. We have everything recorded down to here, so I'm then going to put in a lamb weight, and I'm going to say it's 4.5 kg. Lamb vigor is good. It was normally reared, and then I can go to the second lamb and go next. Management ID tag 11. Next, I go to lamb 2, which is going to be a female lamb, born alive. I'm going to go 12 on this one. Enter everything exactly the same again. Lamb weight was 4.6. Lamb vigor was good. And this one was bottle reared. And I'm going to go next to the third lamb. Again, I'm going to say it's a female. Management tag was 13. Lamb was 4.5. Lamb vigor was good. And I'm going to leave that one on the ewe as well. Or I could put foster if I wanted in. And if I put foster in, I can select whatever ewe I fostered the lamb onto. But I would, sorry, for this, just record normal. And that then is 3 lambing tasks recorded in a matter of seconds. And excuse me for 1 second. The more information you record on your ewes lambing, the more information that will flow down to your lambing stats and the insights features we provide at the end of lambing. So it's entirely up to you which you want to do. but it's both options are there. You can just record that the ewe had a lamb, or you can record all the details you want about the lamb. I say both options are available. I'll just quickly move across to the other herd, and I will show you the lambing stats, which is in breeding. So this is lambing stats, and it will open now. And lambing stats will show you your performance when lambing is over and you've recovered and everything is settled back down. You can go in and see, based on what records you've entered, what has happened, how your performance was during lambing. And you can see here, I had 180. This farm had 188 lambs born alive and 0 born dead. Its litter size is showing a 0, but this is for some reason not was working earlier on today, but has decided to stop. Number of live lambs born alive and dead, but the number of ewes that lambed. While lambing percentage is a number that were as a percentage of ewes that goes to the ram. So this one will generally be higher than this one. We had an average birth weight of 4.6 kilos and a lambing mortality of 0. And each of these then are clickable. I can click into any one of these widgets and get charts behind it, so I can see the difference between my ram lambs and ewe lambs, singles, twins, triplets, quads, by which different rams, rearing type, etc. Same here by total live lambs born is 188. There was 8 singles, 108 twins, 72 triplets, etc. and everything. So I will quickly just go back to this one. Has anybody any questions, or did anything come in, Katie, so far?
Yeah, there's loads coming in. Just while you're on the kind of reporting side of things, there was a question if someone wanted to, get a report of these records, or print them out if they wanted to, put them into anything like Lamb Plus or Sheep Ireland or anything like that. Could they do that?
There's a number of ways of getting such reports out. If you go into your reports section on the app, we have reports are grouped. But if we go into breeding reports, you can get a report of animals born on farm, which would be all animals born in a year. So if you go in and you want to run a report from the 1st of January to today, or whatever your lambing period is, run it. That'll give you a report of all lambs that are born on your farm in the period. Breeding report, the same, all animals, mating records, pregnancy scan results, etc. will all show in that report. Then you have your lambing record report and a mating report. So they are the ones that are particularly to breeding. But as we have here, animals born on farm. If you want to see animals in a particular group, animals in flock, etc., they all can be got here in the report section.
Brilliant. And just another question. I know you kind of touched on it already, but just to clarify, if you're redoing mating records, if sheep repeat and so on, that will update the predicted lambing date?
Yes, it will. If I go back here to this flock and go into my breeding records, my mating records, you can see here there was a lot of animals that were estimated lambing date was 18th to 12/25. If I go into some of these animals, pick 781 here, I go to her history. You can see she had an estimated lambing date. She's had a number of them. She was mated a few times. She was mated for December lambing, and then she had 2 done here, one where the rattle was changed, so she was due to lamb again in March, April. And whichever one is the latest one is the one that's going to populate through to your lambing records when you go to create the lambing record. So you can create as many as you need during the mating season.
Brilliant. Another popular query coming in, a lot of farmers aren't, tagging straight away at birth can they create just like, general groups for lambs if they're doing any dosing records or anything like that?
Yeah, they can. I will just go back to this flock for a second. So if I go in here and I go create group, you can create a general group. So you can create a general group here called 2025 lambs batch one. And I can say there's 50 lambs in this group. And I'm going to say they're a lamb. They're this year's old. You can put in as much, again, as much as you want. If you want to say that this batch one is your singles lambs, go next and save. That is a record of 50 lambs, but there's no tag numbers. There's nothing identifiable about the lambs. It's just a record there that if you want to then go in and dose and say you give them your worm dose, your first worm dose, you can just go in and do that worm dose against them batch of lambs, which I will just quickly show you how to do. So if I go in to do sheep treatment, I can do it from my remedy cabinet if I have the remedy in my cabinet, or I can do a treatment only. So here I'll just do a treatment only, and I'm going to go Albex quick no, and go next, and I'm going to go general note again, administered by no thanks. Set a dose now today is 2 ml. Number of sheep is 50, and you can just put against the general group with single lambs 2025, and that is your lamb, your treatment done. You can put in your worming reason, stomach worms, and go save. And I won't create a purchase the same. So that's your group created and your treatment put against that group without actually any specific lamb animals being created. You can let later date then go in and tag them animals if you wanted. You can go in and go to tags. I just cannot see it here. Tag records, add identification to an animal. So if you have your group of animals created, you can again create you're just creating an identification task, and you have all these lambs that would have had their mating, their lambing record beside them. So I created that one earlier on, identification, first time tag, and you can type in whatever tag number, scan in your tag number if you have your EID one created, and that'll allow you to tag your lambs when they're going to slaughter, or if you tag them at the end of the year for keeping for retention purposes at that stage without actually having to tag them at birth.
Just while you are touching on EID readers, there is a lot of questions coming in about how to link up their EID readers. If you do have a reader, first of all, you can get in touch, let the team know what type of wand or reader you do have, and we can send you out instructions on how to sync it all up. And secondly, you can see it does make things a lot easier to have a wand when you are sheep farming and you're doing a lot of, tasks and races and things like that. But Herdwatch do offer a deal as well. So do get in touch if you're looking into readers. There's a blog on the website about it. So just go into the Herdwatch website and search EID readers and wands, and it'll give you a few options there. Just bear in mind that not every different ones connect to different types of phones, whether you're an iPhone or an Android. So keep all that in mind when you are purchasing one, because obviously nothing is cheap anymore and you don't want to make the mistake of getting the wrong one. But do get in touch, and they are very helpful in sheep farming especially. Just Laura, another question coming in there is just about movement records. Does the sheep side of the app do them?
You can do all your moving records through the app for your own records. They do not at the moment go to the department in Ireland or in UK or Scotland. But I'll just go to this record here. So if I want to do a movement off, you can see a sheep's movement out here. And I'm going to say sold at market, or even if an animal died in farm. Reason for death, I'm going to say unknown. And go to next. And if you had your ID one connected, you could scan the animal. But here is, I'm going to say, this animal, once I save that, it will create a death record or a movement out record for that animal, which reduces the number of animals in your flock. You can, again, do a general note saying an animal died on farm if the animals are not, and put in our movement out to market. You can put in the number of animals, 10. You can record a sale price if you wish, say 175. And you can record anything you want to do. If you haven't your animals tagged previously or just doing a general movement, you can record it here like that, but this will not reduce the number of animals on your home screen. It is just purely a general note for yourself. But if you do record an actual movement, it does show in your purchases and sales as animal movements. So you can see here movement on, 2 movements on, and then movements off. Sent to abattoir, sold privately, moved out, sold to abattoir, etc. And they will all exist there for your records. But as again, they don't currently sync to LIS, Department of Agriculture in Ireland, or any of the other departments at the moment, but we are working on that.
If anything, it's a good way of keeping an eye on how much you're making with your lambs every year.
Yes, it does. It does. It does. And one of the, by recording your purchases and sales information here, what you bought them for, what you sold them for, and if they're, etc., it allows you to run reports or ask our new feature here, Herdy, what you sold your animals for in the last year, etc. Rather than actually having to run a report, Herdy is our new AI feature, which you can ask it any questions you want. I had a few prepared earlier, one specifically a list of 2025 born ewe lambs, and it will run a look at all your data and tell you what lambs you have, what ewe lambs I have left, what breeds they are. 50 ewe lambs retained from 2025 and a mix of breeds, and it'll give me a full download CSV file if I wanted as well. But if I go back here and ask it, give me financial performance of my cull ewes in 2025, and I cannot spell. It'll generate an answer again. Herdy is a kind of like you're able to ask the questions on any of your data, but you have to give it the precise question you want to ask. Not you have to type the whole question into the question section of the feature. It takes about 40 seconds for it to run its reasoning behind the scenes, and then it'll come back with an answer. I was asking here a question on my specific data, but I can also ask it a question about general farming practice like Heptabac P. Is there going to be what's reason for what it's used for? Why should I use it? Or a TAMS grant or anything at all to do with the farming, general farming context, either your own herd or the wider farming knowledge. But it is a very good way of asking questions about your flock, or even double checking yourself. Well, I'm going to do this. Should I do it now? Or is there a fluke risk in my region at the moment based on weather, etc.? A lot of the things we know, but sometimes it's just nice to get a second clarification on it. Here's an example. I sold 10 cull ewes this year with a sales revenue, an average price, and obviously one I haven't recorded a price for, and it tells me when I sold them. So it gives you at a glance very quickly how you're doing financially on. You can ask it by cull ewes, by lambs. You can break it down by ram lamb and ewe lamb, etc. But it's a very good way of getting reports that may not necessarily be in the reporting section of the app. It will allow you to kind of interrogate your data that you've recorded in Herdwatch in your own way. And this is why the more data you put into Herdwatch, the better results it can give you back. Because if you record, say, all your sales, put all your values in against it, all your lambing records, it can ask you can ask it, based on my lambing records and all the data I put in, is there any ewes I should potentially look to cull And I have asked that in the last year, and it gave me 3 that I had missed myself when I checked them physically, but the lambs hadn't performed. And stuff like that that you can use it for, that you might not think about, but it can help you improve how you manage your flock.
Just there is a few questions coming in about reports, and oh, is it possible to get this report? It would be worthwhile trying it in Herdy now after you doing that kind of a report, something that mightn't be available in the report and document section. You could try asking Herdy for something specific that you're looking for, whether it be, a report of who's what yo is having, how many lambs at what date, if you
Yeah,
were looking for something like that. So do give it a try. If there's a report that you're looking for that's not currently in the Herdwatch app, it would be worth trying out Herdy. So it's just there on the home screen. You can see it on the right there. If you tap that
yeah,
little tab, it'll open it up for you. So you can try that out now and see if it works out for you.
yeah. And Herdy's on everybody's app, regardless of what plan you're on or anything. It's there on the side of your screen, just kind of above the orange plus button. And you can ask it as many questions as you want. There's no limit, and on anything you want, as I say, specific to your farm or general farming knowledge. I'll just quickly move on to weights. Once the lambs are born, next time you kind of handle them again, you will be either weighing or dosing or possibly doing a combination of both. So we can do individual sheep treatments using this sheep treatment option here. We also have weight recording using this weight recording option here. Both work extremely well with EID readers, but can be done manually either. But in the last couple of months, we've done this, what we call race side, which allows us to do both together. So here I'm going to set up a weight task, and I'm going to say, that's the wrong one, sorry. Leave, I'm going to go, I'll create a new one. Easier. I'll go to this one. So I could create a new session, and I'm going to say performed by Basil, test, session tasks. So I'm going to say I want to, my main 2 tasks I want to do are to do a sheep treatment, a weight, but I also want to be able to record, say, a missing tag, or a note or anything else on it while I'm doing it, while I have the sheep in the race. I click apply, and I go select my treatments, because I now have treatments, and I'm going to say from my remedy cabinet, I want to give, let me see, what do I want to give? I'm going to go deck to spot. And with this new race site, we can set a dose per animal, which is fixed like 2 ml per animal. And that would you do here, or you can change to a weight per kg. So if it was a weight per kg and I was doing, say, 1 ml per 10 kg, it'll automatically calculate the weight for the dosage for us as we put the animals through the race. So I'm then going to go next, and I'm going to go test, save, start now. So now I have my session set up. My animals are about to go up the race. I can connect my EID reader, which would automatically scan your animals. And if you can have your EID reader at the start, at the side of the race, picking up the animals that flow through, you actually don't even need to touch it. But for now, for the purposes of this, I'm going to go and I'm going to select my ram lambs. So I'm going to say he is 20 kilos. And it's telling me 2 dose at 2 mil a kilo. He do 2 mil of that dose. His weight has gone in, and I know nothing else I need to record about him. So go on to the next one, and I'm going to say he's 25. So he gets 2.5 mil, you can see here, based on his weight of that dose, and move on to next. And you can do that for every animal that comes up the race. You can have ewes and lambs mixed in between. It makes no difference. If I suddenly see a ewe coming up the race, and I'll just pretend this is the ewe for 2 seconds, and she's 100 kilos and I don't want to dose her, I just toggle that treatment off for her, and it won't give her the treatment, but it will record the weight against it. And again, I'm back to the next lamb, and I'm going, it's 22. The weight toggle is back on automatically, and it tells me I have to give them 2.2 mils for that lamb. So I can save that, and I have all them lambs weighed and dosed in one record keeping session. Excuse me. And so then after the fact, then I can go back to my app again, and I can go into here, my weights, and this weights will show me every animal I've weighed and the weight they were for how long I've recorded weights in Herdwatch. The weights are recorded through the race side session. And then I have what we call weight insights. And weight insights allows you to look at batches of your animals. So if you weigh a batch of animals, you can see here on the 2nd to the 12th, there was 23 animals weighed. There's a big variation in weights recorded. The max animal was recorded with 88 kilos, and the max average daily gain was 2.2. The lowest animal recorded was 38 kilos and actually was losing weight, which in itself is a worry. So if you click here, you can see, if I want to see all the animals that were weighed and just want to see who they are and what they did, I can click on the 38, and it'll give me all the records in one spot. And I can filter this report as I need to. So I can just select, well, I wanted to see, was there any males in it? Yes, there was. There's the weights of the lambs. I can decide I don't need to see birth weight, and I don't need to see litter size or sire or foster yard, whatever I don't want to see. I can create a custom report here. It's another way of creating a custom report for yourself, is in some of these tables you can toggle filters on or off, or apply filters to create a kind of an Excel download that you can download in yourself in Excel. But I just go back here, and these bottom, average and top. So I have one animal here I know something's gone wrong with. So I go into my bottom 25. It'll give me the records of the bottom 25% of the animals that were recorded in that weight session in terms of average daily gain. So there was 3 not putting any weight on, 1 decided to lose weight, and 1 is, basically none of them are doing anything. These are my cull that I'm trying to get to the factory, so it's not working too well. But so these weight results will allow you to kind of do a bit more detailed analysis of your weight tasks after the fact. And you can go back dates here. So I can go back to the summer when I was weighing, hopefully a lot of lambs. Yes, so the 113 weighed on that day. And again, you can see the spread of weights. Again, I can filter if I had them in groups. You can just see late lambers, apply that filter, and that brings that down to 1. So 1 ewe on that was a late lamber. So you can apply filters, etc., like that, just to see more and more details analysis on what you put into Herdwatch. Any questions, Katie? Or
would you mind just touching a little bit briefly on grazing records and the mobs feature that you showed earlier?
Yeah, I will just close that.
And so, also there's a few questions on just changing, like say if you kept a lamb, a replacement ewe lamb, just changing the purpose to a breeding ewe.
Yeah, I'll do that one first, and then I'll come to the
questions coming in, guys, anyway, regardless, because Emma's flat out there in the background answering all your questions, so keep them coming.
So this is actually a breeding ewe, but if I wanted to change it to a cull ewe, I go in here. Go back a step. Is that too fast? Leave. So if I want to find any animal in the flock, go into my flock, and I want to find anybody at all that I want to change. This is a breeding ewe. These three buttons at the top right hand corner, if you click on them, go edit, I can change her to a cull ewe and save it. Or if I want to find a lamb, I'll go down a bit, but they'll be near the bottom. And this is a lamb. You can see the purpose lamb here. It's a female, so I'm going to say, oh, it's actually not a female, but we'll make it a female. It's a breeding ewe, and the gender is female. So if you had a lamb that you didn't record the sex of at birth, you just said is yes, there's a lamb there, but you didn't record the sex of it in the field. But if you saw two lambs with the ewe, you recorded the lambing record as she had a lamb, and you put in the management number 16.1 and 16.2, but you left the sexes unknown. Then when you come back later on the year, you can select the gender to breeding ewe to female when you're changing it to breeding ewe. And that is that record saved. And I'm going to save that to 2022. So that's that record updated.
Yeah, and just to confirm, that's kind of general. Those three dots on the top corner are more, you can click those and edit for a lot of different records.
Yes.
That's just an important one to note there.
Yeah, if I'm in my groups and mobs, so this 2019 groups, again, you can go in here and edit your group. So edit the animals that are in the group. You can deactivate the group if you don't want to see it anymore. But if I want to go in here and edit, and I had the sort by tag number, and then said, no, I want to see who is the lowest weight. It'll update how the animals display in the group by that. So this three dots are how do you kind of edit anything, any record in the app. It's the same if I'm on an animal here and I want to edit any part of its life story. I go into edit. It's a cull ewe. If I suddenly want to put in, I sold it, or I bought it from, moved out, anything at all, you can edit it there. So I will here go into our mobs and map. So in my flock, we mentioned very early on that we had groups and we had mobs. We said groups were, an animal could be in multiple groups at any one time, and we use them for things like early lambers 2025, late lambers 2025, and then they could be the same in 2026 and again in 2024, depending on what happens. But then we have what we call mobs. And mobs allow you to, an animal can only be in a mob at any one time. And it allows you to kind of manage your grazing management, etc., at your grazing and how you track your performance, or even keeping track of how many animals are in a field. Because sometimes when there's more than one person on a farm, somebody moves animals from one field to another or groups them together, and then you go out to check the next day and you're not even sure how many you're meant to be counting. So I'll just go in here and I will create a mob. It's down the very bottom, create mob. So I'm going to cut mob I'm going to call this Rams 2025. I'm going to sort animals by tag. Location is all your fields. You can map all the fields on the farm at the moment. If you wanted to create a shed, you can just pretend you can create another field as a shed, if you know what I mean. I'll show you that in a second, but I'm going to say that these are behind the slatted house. I'm going to go next. So again, I can filter this by males. So filter by male, apply, show results. So I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, they are all my retained rams. Click save, and that's my mob of my rams. And if I then go into my farm map, you can see here I have my 8 rams in a field behind my slatted house. So they're there today, and I can leave them there for a week. And in a week, if I want to move them to the next field, I just drag and drop my pin, and they've moved to the next field. And I'll go back to my farm map. Sorry. They've now moved to the next field, as you can see. And that will update. When I do that, if I do it from today's date and a week's time, it'll create a grazing record for you, that there is so many animals in one field at any one time, when they moved into that field, when they moved out. So if you were doing regular weighs of batches of animals, and you could see that for some reason they were in, say, this field for a week, you weighed them going in, you weighed them coming out, and over time you saw that that field, for some reason, the animals didn't perform in terms of weight gain, or if you're in it for a month, you could make decisions on that down the future. But these mobs will let you track this at any one time, and you can see from your map or your phone then, if you're out checking the sheep, there's 9 and 8 in that field. If I count 7, I have to go looking. There's 52 up here. Again, if I count 53 or 50, I have to start counting again. And it'll let you kind of see your sheep at any one time, where they are, where they should be. And it's very handy when you have more than one person working on the farm, and so that you can know at any time how many animals should be in any field for checking purposes. And just how to get to this section, these 3 little buttons in the bottom left-hand corner of your app. You can be in your sheep app, click to your pasture app, and move between them that way. Let's go back to my sheep app here again. And then you can see your mobs in your flock. You can show all the mobs. And here's the group I created during there. Click on it and you can see the animals that are in it. And it can be history of the animals that was created. It went into the Ringfort field on the 15th to the 12th. And if I moved it in a week's time, that'll show up here as well. So you can see a history of everything that was done on them mobs over time. Katie, I'll just quickly talk about labels. It's a new feature we introduced there about 6 months ago, maybe a bit longer. And they show up in the flock like this little icon here on the side of a sheep. I click on that, say he was in a group 1, 2, 3. But if I go to this one here, I noted that animal was noted as very thin once in the field. And if we go in to her again, she's still down as breeding ewe, but we have made a record of her. We are worried about her, put her on extra rations or anything like that. Or if she didn't go on lamb after mating task, we can then see, well, she was very thin at that time. There was something about her that we kind of noted at the time. So you can add a label in a number of ways. So if you're in any animal in the field, in the flock, I'm going to pick gluten here. You can just scroll down to the bottom of the animal, add a label. I got that. You can pick a standard one. We can say she's lame, and that label will show on her. And if, say, somebody else goes out to the field the next day and sees the lame, we already know that we have to bring her up and treat her. But you can do even labels like, add another label. I have one that we call more. Is there more here? No, Christian, you will. We breed pedigree sheep, and sometimes we just, when we're out the fields and we notice a very nice lamb, we had a label last year called Potential. We put it on a few, and then when they came back up to the sheds a couple of weeks later, we saw him in the field. He was good. Is he still good enough to retain, or do we want to cull it? You can even put a label on the field as a cullio, or here you can see prolapse that we recorded after lambing. So you know then that animal is now culled and just won't be here for much longer. And one I spotted on the field, check her udder. She survived the inspection. So labels are a good way of just putting a little flag on an animal to let you kind of, if you see something when you're out and about, you don't want to record a full task on it, but you just want to say there's something about that animal I want to keep an eye on, good or bad, you can just put a label on it. The labels then show up in your home screen in reports and documents labels. You can see all the labels that we've created over time. So there's the one I mentioned, potential, somebody that likes to jump out of fields. And you can kind of go in and see anything about an animal later on. We had 2 lambs that actually got lost, so we were able to get lost on them and track their performance against other lambs in the group with that label still on them when we reunited them with everybody else. So it's just a good way of kind of putting a quick note on an animal recording a task, and you can remove them. So if I go into this one here and I go edit, I can go next. I can remove whatever animal it's against and then save it. So it's against gluten. I'm going to take it off and save that. And so that is, there's no animals linked now to that label anymore. So it allows you to kind of keep your labels tidy and everything as well. Your labels should appear on your watchboard if you have labels, animals with labels. So very thin, lame, prolapse, you can see them all grouped together. So just a kind of a way of keeping track of everything. Now, any questions,
Laura.
Katie, coming in?
Emma has answered all the questions that are coming in. I've kind of asked a lot of the most common ones. And to be fair, when I think of asking a question, you answer it during your demo. So there's not much left to cover. Remember, guys, while Laura has the screen open there, if you do have any queries over the next, couple of days when you're, having a proper look at it, maybe at another stage and you're getting ready for lambing, and you might have, how do I do that again? Down at the bottom there is the help. You can message the team from the Herdwatch app. So it's a handy way of, like, it's basically to you, it's just like texting the customer support team. Send us a quick message and we'll be able to get back to you and help you out if you need any help at all, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 in both Ireland and the UK. So it's definitely a handy tool. That's kind of the most convenient one. You can obviously pick up the phone as well, no problem, and ring in. But just worth noting that if you need a demo and anything at all, we do make time for those. So keep it in mind if you need any little bit of extra help.
And just while I'm here, Katie, I just thought of something. This is what looks like our mobile app blowing up, but we have what we call on the web app in your PC, you have a new version, which allows you, in terms of reporting, will let you do a little bit more reporting and analysis work. It's app.herdwatch.com, and you log in as you would on your mobile phone using the same login details, but it gives you a kind of a different view. You can see what animals are in your flock by your purpose, by how many were twins and how many the animals expected number of progeny due based on your scanning or your pregnancy scanning, animals with labels, jobs, etc. But the biggest difference is if you go in here to my flock on this, it showed you again all your flock in a table format. You again can see the labels here, but as with the reports in this, you can generate kind of a custom breakdown of your flock. So if you just want to see foster ewe and I want to see ram used and lamb in difficulty, and I want to see the dam. Where is the dam? Let's say it's tagged already, so that's okay. And I update that. And then I just want to filter by, I say, I don't think there's any foster ewes in here. But if I had a foster ewe used, you could filter by foster ewe, or I can filter by ram. So if I filter by ram 100, it'll give me everything I want to see. Or there isn't foster ewe here, so 97. And it'll show you, you can create kind of a custom report for yourself in terms of all the animals in your flock. So, and the labels show up here in detail at the side. You can filter by date moved in, date moved off, Is there litters? So lambing number, that number that we had in front of the lambs when they were born, etc. Last lamb's weights. If you even wanted to do a report by last weight date, you can see when, and the last weight and the last average daily gain. You can see when everything was last weighed, so you can see who wasn't weighed. You can see what their last weight was, what their last average daily gain was. So you can again see here there are certain animals that for some reason have not been weighed in a long time. So but you can see if there's gaps in your information, or if you want to create a kind of a detailed analysis of your flock. And again, you can do that by mobs and smart groups and mobs, or you can do by smart lists. And smart lists are kind of, they're customized groups and grouping of your animals. So we filter every male over 1 year old. Smart list, we can see everything sheep not in a group for some reason. Dams with no birth records. So this year's replacements are coming in that have kind of gone from lambs to ewes, but are having lamb down again for this year, are the animals that have moved out. You can see everybody that's moved out. And again, you can filter columns and bring in purchase price if you bought it, or sale price, sold to, sale price, etc. And create a sales report here on the fly for yourself. And again, you can filter by dates. So you can date of birth, or you can do move from dates, the date moved in and date moved off, and you can just filter it that way and create a kind of a custom report. The web app, as we call it, it just allows, it has all the same functionality as the app in your phone, but just allows you to do a bit more of the analysis part on a big screen, and a bit more drilling down into it. So you can see here again our lambing stats. So I'm going to go back to 2024 just to see how that looks like here. January 24 to December 24. 24. 31st December. Filter. Yes, so you can see here, this is obviously wrong, but I don't have a litter size of 5.39. But again, you can see a lot more detail here. If I go into lambing difficulty stats, there's 2 ewes with significant assistance. If I click through to here, I get a table with the 2 ewes. The big screen is what lets you do a lot of the analysis part of the Herdwatch platform. And you can see my lambing difficulty by ram. You can break it down by rams. If you have rams tagged in by ewe age, so you can see if your ewes are getting older, is that causing more difficult lambings, or by birth weight, does your birth weight of your lambs decrease as the ewe gets older? Definitely the birth weight was the highest in the younger ewes, and it did then start to decrease, etc. But it does kind of let you do a lot more analysis. And again, everything is clickable through to a table. And all these tables then are filterable columns, and you can download to a PDF or an Excel as well. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. Okay, Katie, any other questions or?
Not from what you've been talking for. Emma's still answering questions, guys. So if you do have any question, do pop it in. If you have anything that you think would make your life easier in the app, do pop it in as well, because we're constantly sending on different feature requests and so on to the developers and the team, and things that are, the most common sought after are prioritized. So if you do have something that you would like to be in the app, make sure you're letting us know, because obviously the ones that are most popular is what we're going to try and work on for you all. So do let us know, whether it's in the help button or in the Q&A here. Everything will be passed on over the next day or two to the team. But I think that's it. I'm just conscious of time, Laura, so I might, to be fair, you've covered well outside lambing. So if people aren't happy with this demo, this has been a fantastic demo, Laura. So thank you so much. So much detail.
And so if you want to contact us, or any questions, or ask Herdy as well. Herdy has access to all our help articles as well, so
Yeah,
they're all
that's a
there
good thing to note, that if you do need help doing something or how to do a certain thing, ask Herdy, because like Laura said, it does have access to all those help articles that are on the website. So yeah, I think everyone hopefully now will be asking Herdy everything going forward. So make sure you to utilize that. Right, I might ask you to stop sharing your screen, Laura, and I'll just finish off this evening. Okay, can you see my screen again?
Not yet.
Not
I
updating,
can't
no.
anyway. No. Now, there we go.
Oh, no. Right, you can let me know when you see it. Take a little bit of time.
Sorry, Katie, I have a black screen in front of me. Now I got the Herdwatch simplifying livestock icon.
I don't know if it's just your laptop or is it everyone's. If someone could confirm, were they seeing my screen or were they just seeing black? Try one more time.
Yeah, we have you now.
Can you see it still?
Yeah. Yeah. You see the
Okay.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, so look, we covered it there really. You have the Herdwatch website that has everything on it, from help articles to old webinar recordings, everything. So do utilize that. That's also how you get into, if you want to use Herdwatch on your laptop or your PC version, you can go onto the Herdwatch app and log in that way if you just want a big screen version. I also covered there the in-app message center. So that's just a good way to get in touch with us from your phone, like a message or an email, and we will get back to you swiftly. And then lastly, the contact numbers there for the phone lines, both Ireland and the UK, are running from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So do get in touch if you need any assistance whatsoever. Like we covered there's various help articles that can guide you through different tasks, or any record you want to do at all, or any how-tos. It's a good step-by-step guides in here on our website. Just if you even want to just Google help.herdwatch.com, if you want to take a note of that, it's a good assistance there, from everything from connecting EID readers just to doing the basic jobs. It has it all. So it is worth noting there. It is on our website. And just to remind everybody, Refer a Friend is constantly going. So if you have someone in mind that you think would be a good fit for Herdwatch, and they download and create a free account, they don't even have to pay, just create their free account and pop in their Herd details, then you are eligible for €100 or £100 off your next renewal. So you can do it as many times as you want for different farmers, obviously. So that, again, more information on that is on our website. So be sure to check it out. It's a nice way to save a few pounds on your next renewal. And like I said, every person that signs up and creates their free account, once they have a valid herd number in there, and their animals, their cattle uploaded, or some records in there on their free account, again, doesn't have to be paid. You will be eligible for €100 or pound per person. So yeah, keep that in mind. Upcoming shows, we have Llama in the middle of January, and then Dairy Tech is the 4th of February. So they're the ones that are coming up over the next couple of months. Obviously in Ireland, things tend to quieten down this time of year. Everyone's either getting ready for lambing if you're into the pedigrees, or getting ready for calving, which is everything is just around the corner. So that is it, guys. Thanks so much for bearing with us. Again, we covered so much tonight, not just on lambing. So I hope it was productive for you all. I would like to thank Laura, who did a fantastic demo on everything, and really big thanks as well to Emma in the background there, who was answering all your questions. If you need any help with anything, guys, make sure just to get in touch and ask for that help, and the team will do their best to get back to you.